Welcome back to the Peach Teach English podcast. I'm Frankie Memer, your host. Make sure you enjoy this episode where we look at talking about what is your greatest weakness and what is your greatest achievement with Dankwah Josephine. So Dankwah, what is your best tip for answering this question?
I would suggest that you don't feel like you're trying to expose yourself. And I want you to know that your interviewer are not just trying to find out what you cannot do well, but they want to find out what you think you can do well and ways you're working towards to get better. Yeah, the ways you're working to improve on the weakness. And again, I would say you should just pick one weakness, just one, and put in examples of where you're trying to get better. Thank you.
Exactly, right. No, I really like what you said about just choosing one, right? This is not an opportunity for you to name off all of your bad qualities. And we also need to be smart in which bad qualities we want to mention. So, a good place to start might even be, what professional or personal development am I focused on right now? Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's showing an area where you know you could be better, right? But instead of focusing on how you're weak in that area, you can spend that focus on how you're dedicated to improving, right? Let's think about it. Okay. Arshad, what is your greatest weakness?
As far as I'm thinking, like, you should take your weakness in your own self and you should work on it to make it clear and minimize your weaknesses. For example, one of my weaknesses is that when I'm going for any interview, I have no time for the preparation for the interviews. So that's my weakness. Like, I should give time for my study. Like, when I'm going for such type of interview, I'm realizing like that is one of my weakness. Thank you.
You are welcome. I wouldn't say in an interview that my weakness is I don't prepare, but we can think of what are the problems maybe preventing you from being able to prepare. So, do you think it's because of time management, Arshad, or do you think it's because you take on too many responsibilities?
Actually, it's because of many responsibilities I have. So I have no time for the preparation. So that's why. That's my weakness.
Okay, so you take on too many responsibilities. Okay. Do you think that you have difficulty saying no? Because sometimes we take on too many responsibilities because we say yes to too many things. Yeah. And this is often a common weakness used in interviews. One of my main weaknesses is I can be better at saying no. Sometimes I take on too many responsibilities. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this doesn't look so bad because it shows that you're hardworking. So it's not like the worst weakness out there. And then you can also display that you're working on it, right? Maybe you're reading a book about saying no, or maybe you're trying to create boundaries so that you don't take on too many responsibilities. This is often a good one.
I just want to share my own weakness
Yeah, go ahead. What's your weakness?
in trying to communicate with some of my parents, that's the clients. I work directly with children, to their parents. Parents will come and we need this, she needs to take this, and it's not really part of the agreement. Ability to say no, I'll be so careful instead of me to just come out and say, we didn't agree on this. We didn't agree to teach the child this. You didn't tell me this. I have to start all over again, trying to prepare for that particular topic or lesson.
Are you saying your weakness is trying to please parents, which sometimes can get in the way of continuing with the curriculum that you need to do?
Yes, exactly. I had to just go back and I was able to do what you wanted to do. But at the same time, I think it's a weakness. Ability to just go straight and say, we never discussed this. Probably I will include that now.
You could be more direct when speaking to parents about what the purpose of the classes are, right? You know, your time is valuable. You are also the expert, yeah? And so sometimes the parents need to understand and trust you, but we also want to make them happy. So finding that balance is tricky. I get it. Yes. I don't work with a lot of parents. I mainly work with adults. I do have some teenage students, but most of my teenagers are pretty independent with their studies. So I only have to communicate with the parents a little bit, but it's different when they're very young. All right, Jeveline, your turn. What's your weakness?
My weakness is my limited English proficiency. My weakness in my job is not
My weakness is not being able to set boundaries.
to set boundaries.
This is the same thing we were mentioning, right? Being able to set boundaries with parents, being able to say no, even though maybe a client or a parent is disappointed. Our time is valuable, our expertise is valuable. And if we don't set boundaries, people might take advantage of you. So it's good for your health and it's important for our career. Yes. But I think a lot of people struggle with this. I struggle with this. So my weakness is that I am a people pleaser. Okay. I like to make people happy. And so sometimes I say yes to things that I probably should say no, but I don't want to disappoint people. And I end up overworking myself. So I've been working on this by trying to create boundaries or limits. I could do better on implementing these boundaries, but I'm aware of it and it is something that I'm trying to improve on. Yeah. Shahid, we're sharing what our greatest weakness is. Do you want to share?
So far, my weakness is that learning the new softwares, like for example, like QBooks and FreshBooks and so on. If I'm applying for an accountant job, and it could be like the time management, how we have to manage the time for that, how we have to work hard on that, how I have to have a work-life balance. So I need to avoid it, having a lot of pressure. So I have to learn it a lot. So I have to work hard on that. So I can take my time to practice a lot.
And Shahid, are you doing anything to improve in that area?
Yeah, I am, because when I'm gonna get a call for that. So how I can manage my time when I start working in the company to understand the working hours. Depends upon the traffic situation, how I can go either by car or the metro. It depends upon the time management, how I can manage my time while I'm working and studying together.
Guys, thank you everyone for sharing. We've talked about our greatest weakness. So now we're going to move on to talking about really showing with examples. You can't just say, oh, I'm good at time management and I'm hardworking. We need to be able to show this is true. And it's really good if you can do it with your past work experience. And even better if you can show it with like numbers, maybe feedback, rewards that you have received, things like this. Okay. So Dankwah, why do you think it's important to show with an example?
All right, so showing with examples will actually help your interviewer understand not only what you claim about yourself, but also how you've actually applied these qualities to real situations. That is probably your past place of work or currently. Yeah.
Exactly, right? It's your proof. So guys, I want you to think for a second. What is one of your best professional achievements? Remember, something you can show with numbers. Maybe it's things your boss and your colleagues said about you. Maybe you got a recognition. But try to think, what is one of your greatest achievements? And then we'll share. Why don't you go first, Dankwah? What's one of your greatest achievements?
I would say one of my greatest achievements is the ability to start an online tutoring school. without a blueprint. And it's 1 year. It's club 1 year this month. I think it's one of my greatest achievements. Especially my area of specialization is teaching children, communicating with children. I think it's one of my greatest achievements so far.
Thank you. What about you, Shahid? What's one of your greatest achievements?
So for that, my greatest achievement is that like I work as an accountant, the business is going good, and it makes me very proud of like how much we have financed so we have achieved so far, as well as budgeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Arshad, what's one of your greatest achievements?
Okay, I have 18 years teaching excellence. My students, they're very good in their studies, and some of them they start their jobs, and some of them they become doctors. And so every year they become very successful in their life. And that's a very big achievement for me. And I become very happy to see outstanding student results. Like I'm helping the struggling students become more successful, and I give them encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you, Arshad. And Jeveline, what about you? Do you have an
Oh,
achievement you're very proud of?
only my child, my two childs.
Your children, you're proud of your children. No,
Yeah, that's
being
the
a
best achievement of all.
being a great mother or father, wow. Yes, that's an excellent achievement. Yes. There's actually a YouTube video where they do this fake interview and they tell everyone the requirements. You have to work 24/7, 24 hours a day for free, and you get no vacations. And basically, they're describing a mom. Yeah. But all the people are saying, no, I don't want this job. Yeah. And then when they say, make sure you say thank you to your mom because this is what she does for you. So it was a very beautiful message. One of my great achievements I achieved at university. I worked in the international student office at my university, and I became the president of the international student organization. I was really passionate about learning about different countries, different cultures, languages, and I think that's like how I got here today in teaching English. And I also have learned 3 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, French. This is the thing that gets me excited. And that's what I'm trying to do with our community here is I'd like to create a community of people who want to grow together, improve their English together. And that's my goal. But go ahead and share a little bit about what you do.
All right, what I do, I'm an early childhood educator, and I also work for an organization, Speak Out Africa. So it's helping children learn about sexual abuse, how to avoid it, and how to speak up when such thing is happening around them. Also, I am an online tutor. I teach children from 5 years to 9 years, mathematics, science, that's lower mathematics, science, and basic English. I'm also an advocate of dyslexia. Yeah, I'm working for an organization presently, African Dyslexia Organization, where we go to schools, we educate teachers, parents about dyslexia.
Guys, thank you for coming today and see you at the next event. Bye.